about 10 minutes to 11, and I am on my way to visit Megan from Too Cool for Middle School. I'm actually surprised that I'm vlogging right now because I am on a bit of a YouTube break, but her and I are meeting up to do just a fun Q&A.
Turn right now.
Excuse my navigation system. Q&A session using some questions some of you or some of our followers on Instagram may have posted. So I'm heading down her way so that we can film that. And the reason that I am heading down her way is because in the process, or before we actually film, we are going to get manicures together. If you follow her on Instagram, then you know that she always has these really cute and like intricate manicures, and I'm always so jealous of her manicures, and so I decided, hey,
prepare to go straight and continue following the CA210 West.
Why don't I come down your way and
go straight in half a mile and continue following the CA210 West.
Thank you, Claire. That's what I call my navigation system. I decided to head down her way and get a manicure and then do the Q&A in the process. So that's where I'm headed now. Some of you may be watching this video because you are actually followers of Megan.
Go straight now.
And you've never watched one of my vlogs, or you don't really know who I am. So my name is LaTanya. I teach 3rd grade in Southern California. This is my 13th year teaching.
Continue following the road.
That's pretty much it. Like I met Megan through social media, through YouTube, and we've just been able to become friends over the past couple of years, and so it's always fun to go hang out with her. So I'm about 30 minutes away. Hopefully she won't be too mad. She was running late as well. And I'm going to enjoy my Starbucks. I just came from there. I just picked this up. It is a skinny, or a venti skinny cinnamon dulce latte, and I bought a breakfast sandwich as well, which is rare. But my drink was free because I earned a reward, so I treat myself to a breakfast sandwich, and I'm hungry, so that had to happen. So I'm going to stop talking because I am driving and I need to focus on that. I'm going to head down there. I'm going to listen to some Becoming by Michelle Obama on the way, and I am sure that I will be checking in with you guys later. So see you then. Hey guys, I am in the nail salon with Megan. We just finished, and here is my finished product here. Megan, you want to show them yours? She's real fancy. See that right there? Mm-hmm. And this place is called Nail Leisure in Arcadia. I just might be coming here from now on because I just feel so fancy.
Come with me.
We can like meet up on a regular basis, but
my self-care.
Yeah, this is hashtag teacher self-care. But I had to show you this board here of just the things that they do. Yeah, what your options are. So first I looked at this right here, just these polka dots. But then if you guys look at this, if you're really into eggs, they can do egg nails, but they just have,
oh, look at this, like,
look at this rose gold. They just have this board of just all these different options that I just think it's amazing. I mean, it's a little bit more pricey than what I normally pay, but it's worth it. So I just want to share that with you guys. So new nails, new year. Talk to you today. We have a very special guest, Megan from Too Cool for Middle School, and I just feel like the universe always brings the two of us together.
It always does. Like once a season.
Yeah, we met through social media years ago, and then just through a series of different things, we've been paired up to do things together, like CTA magazine, Secret Santa, or Teacher Appreciation. We're always matched up. And through the process, we realized we have a lot of followers and subscribers in common. So we thought it would be fun to interview each other using questions that you guys are posing to us.
So you guys like directed this video.
Right.
You decided what we should ask.
I am interviewing her purely based off of what you guys want to know about her. So the questions that I'm going to be asking her today are either going to come from Teachers Connect, which is a platform we both interact with, or in response to our post on Instagram yesterday. So she has no idea what I'm going to ask her.
I'm so curious to see what you guys want to know.
So it should be fun. And we'll see what she says. I'm probably going to learn a couple things. along the way. So the first question I know I want to ask you is actually from Teachers Connect, and this one stood out because it kind of went along with another question that I was asked on Instagram, and they were both saying the same thing, so I'm just going to summarize. They basically want to know, how do you handle how do you handle a situation where you feel as though the parent and or the student is insinuating that you aren't doing enough for their child, you're not supporting them in the way that they feel like you should be supporting them? How do you deal with that emotionally? How do you get over something like that?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. I think that I've had that question before as well, and this isn't going to be super helpful because I'm just not a sensitive person. So I know that, like, I know intellectually that for a lot of people that would really, really hurt to hear from parents that it doesn't seem like you care about their kid. I've had parents say things like that where I'm trying to help them, or I'm trying to get their work in, and I remember a specific situation, like meeting with a kid after school and meeting with the mom and trying to help him get stuff turned in, and then later they wanted him pulled out of my class because they said that I didn't care about him and I had given up on him, and I'm like, I'm here at 5 o'clock on a Friday helping you get your stuff in. So I can see how that's like very hurtful to teachers who are like, I'm just doing the best that I can to help you. I mean, for me, I'm just like, well, that's just the way it goes. And as long as my job isn't at stake, where they're like attacking my credibility as a teacher, then I just kind of go with it. I mean, I know that for parents, sometimes it just feels good to do something for your kid, and it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the other person. So sometimes parents just want to take an action in some way, like feel like they fixed the situation in some way, and you're the one that is kind of like the casualty of that. And I'm just like, well, that's just, it made them feel better, and my life didn't end. So.
And I think the more time you teach, the less sensitive you become to that. I think definitely my first couple of years, I was more sensitive. I'm still sensitive to it now. Like, I still have parents, you know, at least one a year that might think I'm not doing quite enough. And kind of like her, I feel very grounded in what I'm doing, and I know how much time and effort and thought that has gone into what I've decided to do. So there's very little of me that feels like I've done something wrong. I think mine is just, I'm frustrated that the amount of work we're putting in is not being recognized. So I think to emotionally deal with it, I just allow myself to be irritated. Like, I'm gonna be irritated. I'm gonna go through the motions of just like being irritated. I'll go to my friend, vent, like, can you believe what just happened to me? And then, but the next day, I will just smile at that person as if nothing's happened. And I think that in and of itself helps them to see like you're a professional, like you are secure in what you're doing. But I mean, it is frustrating, and it happens to the best of us. Like, I've had kids removed from my class before.
It probably happens yearly.
Yeah, the parent didn't think I was the right fit, or what I was doing was not appropriate for their child. So you just got to know that comes with the territory. But if you feel good about what you're doing, I think that's
the most important thing, to know that you did what was right. Like, it's really important as a teacher to not cut any corners, to not you know, like bend any rules when it comes to like your actions and your behavior, because I think that's why I can kind of let it roll off my back when things like that happen, because I know that I didn't do anything wrong. So if they, you know, try to come after me or whatever, I know that they don't have anything to work with, so don't give them anything to work with. But if they have some kind of reaction where they want to, you know, take their kid out of your class or whatever, then you just let it happen. And
sometimes that's the best thing, because you're not going to go anywhere. Like, if you have a parent where it's just going to be a battle,
I just like, pick your battle. Like, I don't have time for a ton of battles.
So
okay, you win. I'm gonna go home
and live my life and be happy.
Watching.
All right. This next question I'm going to ask, because I think it's a good one for her, because if you watch her channel, she is not afraid to talk about difficult topics in a truthful manner, which can be scary because you never really know what kids are going to say, especially at the middle school level, and you don't know how it's going to be translated when you get home to their parents. So this person said, how do you handle different opinions in the classroom?
I love different opinions in my classroom. Different opinions are great. I have a couple of videos about this if you want to see like a longer explanation. I'll kind of keep it short here, but classrooms are a great place for students to disagree and to encounter new information, encounter new points of views. I have a book recommendation for you called The Political Classroom. We can link it below, and in the introduction of that book they talk about how once we become adults we do kind of segregate ourselves into groups of people who are like-minded, and sometimes as adults we don't even really talk to people who think differently than us or vote differently than us or believe differently than us. But in classrooms we have this great like sample size of people who think differently and come from different backgrounds, and that is really the place where you need to learn to talk to people who are different from you. And maybe if we had done that in school we would be better off. So I do think though that it needs to be very structured. You can't just throw out
have a free
something controversial and just like expect that lesson to go well, because it probably won't. And I don't advocate, like you as a teacher, just telling your students about all of these controversial issues. But if you can bring in primary source documents, if you can bring in current events, if you can bring in plenty of evidence to draw from so that students are having a informed conversation, then that is great. And there's a strategy called structured academic controversies. I think I have a video and a blog post on this, but that's a great format for students to practice reading, comprehension, speaking, delineating arguments. It's very standards based, and it helps students just learn to disagree and to listen and to talk with each other. And I never shy away from controversial topics in my classroom, but I also never just like throw them out there without thinking either. I always have some kind of a plan with plenty of evidence to fall back on, because you're right, I don't want my students going home and saying, Mrs. Ford said this, but if they go home and say, I read today about this, then I'm fine with that.
And I think it's important because with Common Core, whether you like it or not, I think the big point is just critical thinking. And if you're just constantly telling kids what to think, at what point are they learning how to like critically think about something and come to their own conclusion? And so, you know, some of you know that I'm trying to transition to middle school, and that in and of itself is what I'm most excited about. Like just those kinds of conversations where you could see kids really thinking. And one of my friends who teaches in the district I do, she has a daughter in middle school, and something she said about her daughter's history teacher that I really liked is she's like, my daughter has no idea what her history teacher's perspective on anything is. Like he's just giving them information, but if she were to explain what he believes, she just doesn't know. And I think like that's a good balance. Like of course you're gonna have your opinion, but you don't want to get so ingrained that now you're just giving your opinion to students. You want to give them both sides and kind of let them like hash it out and talk through it. So I think different opinions is critical in today's day and age. So
I think my students would know, like they don't know all of my, you know, every breakdown of the way that I vote or think or whatever, but I think they know that I care about people and I like other people who care about people. And I know that they pick up on that. And
I think you definitely want your kids to know like where you stand with like just humanity, like ethics and humanity, but like political things, like perspectives on historical events.
And we do a lot of lessons showing that even when we have a ton of information and evidence about something, we still come to different conclusions about it, and that is okay. That happens. Just because you have evidence for something still doesn't mean that people reach the same conclusion about that evidence. So keep talking about those type of things.
Controversy is good, if you ask me.
And fun, they love it.
Okay, this one just kind of, this next question touches on Megan's past with music, and I was curious about this one too. So this one says, do you see yourself going back to teach music one day?
So a good question. I used to teach piano and voice lessons. That was how I like paid my way through college and part of my teaching career also. I started off wanting to be like a music teacher at a school and realized that I do not have the skills for that. I cannot teach like drumline and trumpet and every single instrument. Like, I am not that talented, but I really do like teaching private piano and voice lessons. And if you have that talent at all, it's good money. Like, it's a really good side job or job while you're in college or whatever. I have a 2-year-old right now, so when he gets a little bit older and maybe he's got like stuff that he's doing after school, like practice or something, and then I've got a little bit of time, I think that would be really fun to do. And also someday, I have a piano, but it's at my in-laws. Like, I want my piano back when we can fit it wherever we live, and then I would love to have like kids come over and give them lessons. And it's really
you know
fun.
what? I just remembered. I saw one of your vlogs. I think it was Halloween, and she dressed up as Belle and was like singing the whole. I was like, I wish I could do that. Like. And you looked like Belle. I was just like, oh my gosh, like,
You take a side job at Disneyland.
I know, I was like, she could be a Disney princess if she needed to be.
I like Belle because she reads.
This next question comes from a person that I know. She's a very faithful follower on my accounts, and I know she follows Megan too. It's from Pam. I know she doesn't mind me saying her name, but she wants to know, what has been the moment in teaching that has affected you the most?
That's a deep question. Let me think.
About that one.
Yeah. That's a really good question. I don't know that I will answer it exactly as you're hoping, but I feel like since I became a teacher till now, which is about 7 years, I've had so much growth. I don't know if I could point to one moment that really like changed me or affected me, but honestly, teacher social media has really helped me grow as an educator. And for one thing, not necessarily at my particular school, but education in general does tend to be dominated by white women, and you just kind of get one perspective really, or not too many different diverse perspectives. But because of teacher social media, I'm hearing from so many different kinds of teachers and what they're reading, what kind of bothers them about education, or what they really enjoy about education. And it's often things that I have not thought of and I wouldn't have thought of on my own. So I really appreciate the diverse perspectives that teacher social media has brought to me. And I would say that probably like the best professional development that I've encountered has just been from other people sharing their journeys and like allowing me in and suggesting things for me to read and things for me to check out, and that has affected me greatly. And I think positively affected my students as well, because I'm working on myself, and that helps me in my interactions with them.
I think, and just to touch on that, because I did have someone else ask a question that is similar to the Teachers Connect one, but they wanted to specifically ask, do you feel having such a large presence on social media has had a negative impact with you in terms of your relationships to parents, or how do parents react when they realize, you have this YouTube channel, you have this Instagram account?
Strangely enough, I've only had positive reactions. Like, I've met parents after school and they're like, oh, I watch your vlogs, I really like them. And I'm like, oh, thanks. Or I've had you never really know who somebody is through their comment necessarily with like their username, but I had some parent over the summer say like, oh, I really hope my daughter is in your class next year, after seeing things that I've posted. So I tend to keep my page very positive. I know that I'm passionate about certain things, and I definitely post about my passions, but I think that parents just see, if they are on my social media, they just see that I really love teaching. I really enjoy interacting with students and getting to know my students, and I am constantly like thinking of new ideas for my class, and never want things to get boring. So I haven't had any complaints yet. I'm always sort of like bracing myself for them, but it hasn't happened yet.
And same for me, like I I've not had anyone come to me and say anything negative about it. I don't talk about it. Like, I don't tell my class. It's just if they discover it, they discover it. And even if they talk, my kids will bring it up to me. Like, they'll just say, I saw your blog. I just am like, oh, really? But I don't really say much about it. But
I used to say I have an evil twin, but now I'm like...
But I think what's been the most interesting is, like her, I've had parents who I don't even have their student, or like at my old school, I would have parents in 3rd grade be like, oh my God, I love your videos. Like, so it's almost like a form of PR, because they get to kind of see what you're putting into the class, like how committed are you to the class. So it's only been positive for me. And like her, so many ideas. I think some people still have this fear of like social media and don't post, but there is like a wealth of information on social media. So the things that I've done that some of you have commented on, I saw that somewhere. Or books that I'm finding, I saw that
very
on
few original ideas.
Yeah, someone's Instagram account. So I think as long as you are purposeful in who you follow and all of that and what you post, it could really only be helpful. My superintendents know that I have this channel. They were excited for me when I was in the magazine, and that solely came from our social media accounts. Like, that's how we were found. A presence online. So I think it's definitely a positive thing, and it's
and be honest though about, like, the only place where I could see kind of like something weird happening is if your principal or superintendent or something had like no idea that you had a channel maybe, and they were kind of like blindsided if a parent came in and made mention of it. So my administration knows about it. I do have like release waivers that I have my students sign, and I sent them first to my principal and to the district office to have those like approved, and then sent those home so that students can be in my videos if I ever film in class. And some students did not sign them, and they don't want to be on social media, so they are not. So you have to be like very upfront and open about it. And I think that maybe it's a little bit harder as you're like just starting off, because you're like, oh, I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. Like, should I tell my administration? Maybe not. Like, maybe just start it off like in your house. I just, started making videos at home, and then I've been like slowly branching it out more into like my classroom and stuff. And just be honest about what you are doing, and hopefully your administration understands that as long as your videos are good, that you are just like making them look good as well. Like, I think my district appreciates that I'm showing some of the cool things that we're doing in our district through my videos, and it's just,
and it can't just be like a rant fest.
No.
Like, of course, I think some of the people that have watched my videos appreciate the fact that I'm sharing like my good days and my bad days, but even when I'm sharing moments that were difficult, it really is just like a reflective moment, or like just opening people's eyes to like some of the struggles, but I'm not just ranting
about like students, just coworkers, or admin or anything.
Yeah, that's definitely where
it's not helpful.
You start turning yourself in the wrong direction. But so I think if you're interested in social media or something you want to do, like, we've only had positive experiences both within our immediate school settings, and we've met people that we wouldn't have met without social media. So now my last question is just for me.
Okay.
My last question is just, because I liked the fact that people were surprised to hear what I would do if I wasn't teaching. Like, if you were not teaching and money was not an issue, what would you be doing?
Well, it's funny that you said that you graduated wanting to be a lawyer and go to law school. And I think if I had had money to do that when I was in college, I would have loved to be a lawyer. I took a couple of I have a master's in history, but I took a lot of like constitutional law classes for my history master's for some reason, and I loved them. And I like doing research. I like, as you can tell even from my classes, like backing things up with evidence. I would have loved to be a lawyer. That would just be really, really fun.
I've like contemplated like educational law. Like, and every now and then when I have a moment of insanity, I'm like, maybe I should get a PhD in urban education, and then I realize I'm too tired.
I mean, or just a historian. Like I would just
Yeah.
go back and get my PhD
Yeah.
in history and just be a history professor and write history books. And I would move to the Virgin Islands and I would try to get a job at the University of the Virgin Islands and like live on a boat and study Rothschild Francis. Like that's smooth my family. Like I wouldn't mind doing that and researching all day. I know it's weird, but I love just research all day long and then writing articles.
Well, those are some of the questions. They aren't all of them. We couldn't answer all of them, but they were all great. So we want to thank you guys for posing some fun questions for her.
And we do have like lots of other, both of us have lots of other Q&A videos on our channels. You can kind of scroll back through and find others. So some of the questions were good and we just have already answered them in other videos.
Like we wanted to try and give some new questions or new information that maybe we haven't shared.
Yeah.
If you're not subscribed to Megan's channel, I'm not sure what you're waiting for. Oh, I did have one other question.
Oh, go for it.
Sorry guys. Like
we make the rules here. We do whatever we want.
Like Megan's big thing is ethical fashion. And every time I see her post, I'm like, I really need to be better. But it just seems like so overwhelming. So if someone were trying to be a little bit more purposeful in what they were buying, but maybe we're concerned about the cost because it is obviously more costly, what would be step one that you would have them do?
This is tough. I've been trying to buy things for my wardrobe that are either fair trade or made in the United States so that I am bypassing like things that are made by sweatshops or things that are just intended to be very like impermanent, you know, like just like a trendy shirt or something that I'm gonna throw away because, you know, quickly, because fashion is a really big polluter and people are generally not treated well in the fashion industry, the people who are making our clothes. So I try to be very aware of that. And one resource that I've really liked is I subscribe to CosBox. So CosBox is a cool one to check out because they just send you, it's like every 3 months, it's like a seasonal one, products that are all like fair trade and sustainably made and organic, and it's always stuff that I haven't heard of that I like wouldn't have found otherwise. And then I usually just follow those brands on Instagram, and then usually like, you know, Instagram knows everything, so it starts to realize that that's what you want to follow and it starts suggesting more. So I think without social media I would have a much harder time, but I just try to follow brands and like see when they're having sales, because they tend to be more expensive, but if you can find some sales. I always notice too, like if you're an extra small or an extra large, your stuff is always on sale, and so I'm like, oh man, that would be like the way to go. So always look for just when those brands are having sales or deals or whatever.
Yeah, so that really was the last question, but I really wanted to know because I've thought about it, but it can be overwhelming. So again, we
lots of videos on it.
Yeah, she does. We want to thank you guys for watching and asking questions. Make sure you're subscribed to her channel. If you're here, hopefully you're already subscribed to my channel. If you have any other questions that you'd like us to answer someday, feel free to leave them in the description box. But we got to get out of here because now we're going to go look at some
floats.
From the Rose Parade. So we've just had a great day together of manicures.
We didn't show you our nails, did we?
Okay.
Did we?
Look at that, you guys.
Oh.
Is it focusing?
Focus, there we go.
Oh yeah.
Cute. And don't forget that I asked LaTanya a bunch of questions over on my channel. So the questions that you wanted to know about her are over on mine. So we've got these 2 videos that you need to watch today. Yeah.
And lastly, since we both participate, if you have any other questions for us, you can always pose them on Teachers Connect. It is a great resource for new teachers, current teachers. If you want to ask something, share something, it is there for you. So
we'll see it.
You will see them there. So aside from that, I hope you guys are having a great day. We will see you guys later. And now we're off to go see some floats. Bye guys. Okay guys, I was just bragging on Megan's vlog about how we were killing it today with getting a manicure and going to see the floats, and
the manicure because
the floats are closed, guys. Like we're walking across the street and the cops are like, the floats are closed, so we didn't even get to see it.
next year we'll be more prepared.
Yeah. we have
Make a plan.
364 days to plan.
Darn though, I was like really excited.
But it's okay, because we were filming very important videos. So now we're gonna find something to eat. We would have liked to show you the floats back there, but they're closed.
Next year.
Next year.
Notifications, you'll get it next year.
Yeah. So we're gonna find something to eat now, so we'll talk to you tonight. I am at Panera with Megan doing a quick dinner before we have to pick up Jensen. And I am having, I just tried this not too long ago. This sandwich, you guys, is the modern caprese sandwich. I'm trying the barbecue chicken, mac and cheese, and then bread, and then Megan.
The soba noodles are like my favorite thing, and I'm not gluten-free, but they are actually gluten-free, like super healthy.
Yeah, I've had those before, and it's really good, especially like on a cold day. But I just wanted a sandwich, so and then I got this cute little treat. I've never had one of these, but so I am probably going to end my vlog here. I hope that you guys enjoyed like this kind of, not haphazard, but a surprising vlog, because I wasn't initially going to do this in vlog format. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure to subscribe to Megan's channel and check out Teachers Connect, and we will talk to you guys later. Bye guys!